Hello, my PSWC brothers and sisters. So good to be with you again for this quarterly update. I realize I missed the one from last quarter, so I want to tell you all the things that have been happening in the first half of the year and tell you some things that are coming up for the summertime. First of all, in celebration, we want to thank Modesto Covenant for being incredible host as we had our celebration last April. We sent 10 ordinands through our annual meeting to the ECC, and we've got 10 people getting ordained next week at Orlando, Florida at Gather. Plus that, we've got 25 more people who are going through the first-time licensing process and another 50 more that are coming through the pipeline. God is raising up another generation of leaders in the PSWC, and we are so excited for their gifts, for their calling, and for them moving into what God has for them and for your churches in 2025. So would you join me and the staff in praying for these men and women who are going into ordination, getting their licenses, and accepting the call of Christ in their lives? In addition to the people, we've also got churches that are joining our movement. Agape Church in Phoenix, Arizona, and Clarksburg Community Church in Lodi are both joining our membership this year at Gather. And a church that has been away from us for a while, Bayside Placerville, is now called Radiant Church, and they are coming back into the family. God is moving in this conference, in our denomination. There is just so much to celebrate as we look back on what God has done in the first half of the year. Looking forward to the summer, I want to tell you we've got some exciting things happening at our Camp Mission Springs. This is getting ready for the 100-year anniversary of that ministry. So there's teams and celebrations that are ramping up. Make sure you go to their website, stay plugged into what's happening at Mission Springs. I had the privilege of being there a couple of months ago for the men's retreat. It was the second one of the year. There was 300 men there, and I had the pleasure of co-facilitating with Pastor Ben Kearns. It was such a great time of worship and connection and celebration. And coming up in just a few weeks, Mission Springs is hosting the family camp. So many great opportunities for us to be together as clergy and as family to celebrate God, to worship God. So make sure you check out Mission Springs website for all the ways that that ministry is a blessing to our churches. Speaking of summertime, we want to give you an encouragement that VBS is coming up all around our conference, and so many of our churches are using it not just as a time for Bible study with our kids, but as a great community touch point. It's maybe the best opportunity of the year to engage with families and children and parents who don't normally come to church. This is such an incredible opportunity for ministry, and so many of our churches have done some creative things. And so we want to encourage you, think beyond just the four walls to how the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news and the incredible things that you're doing in your church community can be a light and a point of engagement for the community that God has placed you in. If you need some ideas or some support or some ideas from other churches about what they're doing, please reach out to the conference. We'd love to give you some tips and best practices for how to make your VPS an incredible encounter for your community and your ministry this summer. So the final thing I want to say to you is to encourage you in this season to get some rest. As a matter of fact, I hope some of you aren't even watching this video right now because you're on vacation. It's one of the most important things we do as the conference is to encourage our pastors and leaders to take a Sabbath routine. It's not always weeks, it's not always months at a time, but even on a regular weekly basis, to take some time away to connect with your spouse, to connect with your children, your family, and most importantly, to connect with God. And so we want to just encourage you to find that rhythm of rest so that you can give the fullness of what God has poured into you and not just be working off of fumes. So I'm really excited to tell you about what we're launching for the first time. We've been trying to do this for the last few years, our first pastor spouse cohort. We've got one of the gifts in our conference, Denisha Smith, whose passion is for the spouses of lead pastors. She's going to be putting together a cohort, giving weeks of coaching and encouragement and peer connection for those who are in the trenches with their husbands or wives that are lead pastors and need a little encouragement for yourself. And so check out the link below. That cohort starts soon. And I think it's one of the best gifts that we as the conference can give to our pastors is to make a venue where your spouse can be encouraged. So if you've got a spouse that needs a little encouragement, a little refreshment, I want to encourage you, pastors, get your spouse signed up for the spouse cohort. As we get ready to end this time, I just want to encourage you again, find those rhythms of rest. See the new leaders God is raising up around you. Be encouraged that you are doing the kingdom building, transformative work in your community, and God sees you and he's so pleased. God bless you, my brothers and sisters. I'll talk to you soon.